mind in the self, and silence itself is the true teaching. This is what he says. I will tell you my personal story. My wife, my 8-year-old daughter, and myself, we went on a hike in Slovenia. And this is where our tour guide took us for 1 hour and showed us that mountain peak that I'm pointing towards. And he said, in the next few hours, we're going to try and reach that peak. I thought he was joking, that's too far away. But in reality, in the next 3 hours, we ended up hiking beautiful scenery and reached that peak. I'm sure in Calgary, you're going to find a lot of beautiful hikes like this if you find the time to go outdoors. But the reason I'm proudly sitting there is because I'm not brave enough to go and stand in that tip where the wind is so high, and if I fall off, there is no coming back. This is our tour guide who took us there. And the story is about him actually. His name is Timo. He trained as a chef for several years, and for numerous generations, they don't pertain to any specific religion. And he is coming from a poor country and limited economic means, so he has not yet ever been in an aeroplane in his lifetime. He has no major savings at 28. He had just lost his only son as an infant because of some health issues. But still, the truth about him is he has taken up outdoor tour guiding as a new job, which actually pays him much lesser than as a chef. In a poor country, when he does not have much financial capacity, he's choosing a job which he feels is more in tune with his true nature. He wants to be outdoors and taking people around beautiful countryside he feels is a more fulfilling life experience. And what was most revealing about him is he told me food is taken for granted. People lose value when they pay money for it. So he says we have to really farm or go hunting or fishing to realize how hard it is to really procure food. And he himself eats only 1 or 2 meals every day. He is more muscular and he can climb these mountain peaks 4 or 5 each day. He is that fit and he does it when he's not taking tourists like me. He would himself run up these mountains on his day off. He's that fit. And if he is himself needing only 1 or 2 meals, why sitting as a doctor all my life I'm having 3 meals a day? So that was my self inquiry, trying to understand the reality, the underlying truth about how much food our body really needs. He wants to show people how to celebrate life. So I met him in the summer of 2018. That is when I really started what the father of India, Mahatma Gandhi, has always said: there is no prayer without fasting, and no fasting without prayer. God comes to the hungry in the form of food. So this fasting can be done in several ways. Different people, different things might work. A simple fast means don't give body anything except water, no calories at all for 12 hours. We can easily do that. If we have dinner at 7 p.m., we can have breakfast at 7 a.m. and we have overnight fast of 12 hours. Cycle fasting means going a little longer, up to 16 hours, few times a week. Strong fast means is up to 18 hours. And warrior fast is 21 hours. A whole day fast is 24 hours. So that's what I started trying in 2018. Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., I'll finish dinner. Wednesday, I'll go to work all day long without any food intake until 7 p.m. So 24 hours goes, but every day I would have at least had one meal. So basically, Wednesday, breakfast and lunch I would skip. I did this for a couple of years nearly, and it really worked. The first month, it was hard. I would feel somewhat headache and tired and little weak, but after a month, I realized that the body really easily adapts to not getting calories. So this is how to eat carefully, mindfully. So we want to stay in the green zone. So when we start feeling a little hungry when we are at 4, if we give the body the right food and feel satisfied, we can go for several hours until the next meal. So this type of eating mindfully reminds us not to go to 7 to 8, 9 or 10 where we are eating too much, and not to get too hungry also. When we starve, the body wants more food, so we end up overeating. So to stay between 4 and 7 is a good zone. If your BMI is completely healthy, if your BMI is 23, 24, what will happen if we want to try to lose weight? If we don't give the body food, will we faint? No. We will go after junk food, which is not healthy. So everything that you see in this picture is available for easy access all over wherever we work or party or play. You'll see these in all the grocery stores throughout the world. Most of this is empty sugars. That means they are not nutritive food, and they have higher tendency to unnecessarily add obesity, fat to our body. So my request is for my heart patients who are 60, 70 years of age, I ask them to try fasting, which means after 6, 8 hours, they'll be feeling that they are starving and they can still go into uh, smiling, which is relaxing the body, and drinking more water, by which they can enter into a phenomenon called natural ketosis. So this is what it took my body close to 1.5 months in 2018 to teach the body. So once the body learns this natural ketosis, what happens is it'll comfortably, I wouldn't say very comfortably, but even today when I go into fasting, my body says, oh my gosh, I want some food. But if I deny the food, if I keep smiling, then it realizes, okay, he's not getting stressed up. He's not going to go and get food. So the subconscious recognizes it has to go into this ketosis. This ketosis means the body burns its own fat. That's the difference between the ketogenic diet and this natural ketosis. Ketogenic diet means we give the body a lot of animal fat and protein from animals and oils and eggs, and avoid carbohydrates. So this type of fatty diet actually helps uh, diabetics cut down on their insulin requirement, helps people lose weight. But if you look at the big term picture, I'm not trying to only help people in the short term of weeks or months. I'm looking at years ahead, 2025, 2030, 10 years from today, how your health is going to be. For that, this type of ketosis, as a cardiologist, my request is this is way healthier and more natural, not only to lose weight, but also to gain better heart health and longevity. So, this is the important takeaway message. Emotional craving is what many people succumb to. We eat food because we think it is going to help us feel better. Instead, I spent 45 years of my life habitually eating. I thought I was doing the right thing. On the clock, 8 a.m., 12 noon, 7 p.m., I will have my meal, thinking that's what my body needs. This would allow me to pursue my studies or take care of my patients throughout my life, but it is not what my body ideally deserves. All of us, everybody above the age of 18, deserve to perceive real physical hunger. What is that real hunger? That happens only when the body is not getting enough calories from outside food and it is switching to natural mechanisms. The first mechanism is the liver causing gluconeogenesis. So that will supply energy to the body when the food is not coming from our stomach. The liver will provide its own supply for several hours, and after 10 hours, that liver also starts depleting, and then we go into ketosis where we start burning our own fat. This much, I believe, is healthy and essential for us to remain longer, healthier, and improve our health span. So I don't want to go into too much details, but this intermittent fasting improves our resilience to stress. Autophagy is our mechanism to prevent cancer. Glucose metabolism improves. Mitochondrial oxidative stress comes down, and our body and tissues remain younger and healthier when we don't give food to the body. That's what the science is telling us. And these are numerous metabolic adaptations to fasting, which I taught my body in 2018. When I can do it at 45, my patients have done it when they are 70 and 80 years of age. And the liver, the muscles, the heart, the brain, the adipose tissue in our body, the gut, all of these respond positively to fasting. And again, these things we will skip today. And there are numerous ways of fasting, and the overall benefits are today in 2020 to fight against COVID infection, our immunity is boosted, diabetes is prevented, weight reduction is improved, heart health gets better, and 70 to 80% of cancer risk 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road is reduced if we take up intermittent fasting once a week. For our heart patients, in the last 3 years at least, we've had this concept of fasting. Before that, we've had this program since 2015 where we taught calorie restriction. Now we are teaching intermittent fasting to our heart patients, and they are showing so many health benefits in real time. So this entire program uh, is available on our website, High Life Journey. All these lectures that happened in June and July, these are more like uh, group clinics where we've had 20 people in person, but because of the COVID era, we moved it all online. And these YouTube recordings are for 200 people who attended these sessions from India, Europe, and the US here in Colombia. So all these people participated and are now continuing this fasting and exercise. And these are the four aspects: fasting, exercise, a little bit of 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, and doing some altruistic or kindness acts. So these are the four cornerstones of the High Life journey. The most important thing that today we are focusing on is the fasting, and all of the rest I invite you to sign up to highlifejourney.org, and you can understand all these concepts over 6 hours. If you find the time at leisure over the weekend or whenever you have a break, you can go through all this, and it's all completely free. We are not charging anything. So again, I'll skip through some of these benefits of intermittent fasting and calorie restriction. All this is scientifically proven. And then calorie restriction is one, intermittent fasting is one. The program that my heart patients with balloons and stents in their hearts, weak hearts, they are older, they cannot exercise much. What they are doing is what we call the continuous fasting or hunger-based gratitude experience. What this is more of a meditative experience called self-inquiry. And beyond the physical benefits that we talked about, it also gives much more self-confidence, optimism, and better mood stability, helps fight depression. Because ketosis is useful, here they are able to enter into ketosis several times in a week safely. They accept being hungry as a part of life, and they are able to restrict calories much more than intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is about 20% calorie restriction. Here, people are able to delve a little deeper into themselves, find a deeper mind-body connection, and they're able to sustain for years calorie restriction of 50%. And that's what they've shown. Important to live to 100 years, all of us, but it is so much more important to feel alive and confident today. For that, I invite you to experience self-inquiry. And our program, is, as I told you, is completely free and available for you to sign up and experience. So the question is, how little do I need to eat to do whatever I wish to do today? That is the real question of this hunger-based gratitude experience. Apart from the intermittent fasting benefits, people are able to overcome depression, anxiety. They are able to comply with everything else they want to do, like giving up cigarettes, giving up alcohol, exercising some more, and much more importantly, finding more confidence in their own relationships, in their own families and friends. They're able to connect more meaningfully also with their work. Everything becomes enhanced when people connect with themselves at a deeper level through self-inquiry. For that, we are suggesting fasting. So this is what the WHO, World Health Organization, suggests. Overall, the ideal most diet involves mostly carbohydrates and 10% of fat and 10% of protein, plenty of fruits and vegetables, with limiting our empty sugars, which is what I showed in the picture, all the snacks and drinks that are available to us. On average, women require 2,000 and men about 2,500 calories. But unfortunately, in the United States, it's nearly double that is what is being consumed currently. And this has happened only in the last 30, 40 years. Because if you go to McDonald's or any of the fast food chain stores, you will find compared to 1950, the amount of portions has increased gradually to much higher quantities currently than ever before in human history. So this is what I want to leave you with. For men, the waist circumference has to be below 40, for women below 35. And if you are of South India or any Indian origin, South Asian or Indian origin, that includes Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all these South Asian countries, waist circumference of more than 35 itself is high risk. For women, it is more than 31. And ideally, if you want to target body fat percentage, below 15% is ideal for men and below 25 for women for long-term reduction of heart problems. So another 5-10 minutes I'll wind up so that we'll have some time for question answers. So this is the 5,000-year-old miscalculation that mankind, I believe, has made. And today I'm presenting it to you so that we don't make this mistake moving forward. What it is mankind has evolved over several 100,000 years. This is the world before it has evolved to where it is right now, where mankind has moved over a million years to different parts of the world from Africa. That's what science tells us. And this is how our ancestors evolved. Every day, 10, 15 kilometers, we had to run and walk to get enough food, just to protect ourselves from wild animals, and to get enough shelter, we had to be on our move every day. Where has this left us today in this modern age? We are saying we are busy, but our job is mostly sitting and desk job. We follow standard American diet, which I've used here as sad diet. We are much more sedentary and lonely because people try to fulfill their life without big families anymore. So people are thinking twice, thrice before having children or even marrying. So nuclear families where people are alone and trying to succeed in their own time. So this is the challenge of the modern era. People are more with a growth mindset, working harder. They feel things need to be changed and material success is the goal. Whereas people from, I would say, Eastern cultures are more laid back, at least from India. They accept things where they are and they are finding it more intrinsically driven. So instead of the culture of doing more, people are, I would invite you for your heart health to understand how you can find more meaning in where things are right now. So for that, find it within yourself. So give yourself 10 minutes of silence so you can think what life is all about and make your own inner reassessment, reevaluation of every day and your short-term goals so that you're more aligned and in tune with your success. Maslow, about 50 years ago, said first man needs food and water, then some safety, security, social relationships, and then power. And once all these are fulfilled, then people go towards self actualization and achieving their maximal potential. Then there is another concept of transcendence where people can do things which may not immediately make logical sense, but which is of more profound meaning and beneficial to the whole of mankind. So this is where self-inquiry comes in, where we can find meaning and purpose in our life. And if we have sufficient access to food in this COVID world, then I invite you, wherever you might be in this journey of life, to try a little bit of fasting, a little bit of restraint on food. When you can have access, try to cut down one meal a week or two meals if you can, to understand how the fasting works, so that this journey of life you can go through at a more profound and meaningful way. You can cut through all these levels and understand life itself deeper. I'm using a monkey here to show the same message. This is a study that is published about 10 years ago. Both the monkeys are 27 years old. The one on the right side, or the one here, picture D, looks much younger compared to the same aged monkey, which has normal weight, normal diet. This monkey had a 30% calorie restriction. Because this is a lab experiment, this was successful. And by 30% calorie restriction, they reduced cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and even the process of aging. So, bottom line, monkeys, if they are underfed, they end up living younger, getting younger, and living longer. And this is true for all the animal species, starting from unicellular bacteria all the way up to rats and snakes and monkeys. What about human beings? That question was subsequently answered. Even in human beings, for 2 years, if we restrict calories by 25%, healthy parameters become healthier. 35-year-olds become 25-year-olds. That is what their metabolism is saying. This is the publication in 2019 in Lancet. It's a very important publication. The study's name is Calorie 2. Calorie 1 was a experimental study. Calorie 2 was a randomized trial where this has been shown already in healthy, young, normal weight people. They can be made to live longer if they restrict calories by 25%. This is a very profound human science that has already been proven. So this is our evolution I showed you. We don't know the true reason, but it may be a meteorite that took the dinosaur. But all our civilizations, the small mistake we have made is in our anxiety or eagerness to grow, we have forgotten our inner nature and what we truly need to fulfill our life. So that is the mistake. So we need to find time for self inquiry, find time to understand ourselves, whether we embrace any particular religion or not. Self inquiry is something I invite all of you to pursue. And for that High Life Journey, our website gives you some pointers how to start your journey so that you can achieve your fullest potential and understand what it is to be truly free from all worries and experience life to its fullest. So, understanding life as half full or half empty is only half the story. Experiencing life as a fulfilling experience, despite all our challenges, that is what is Dhyanam in India, and that became Zen. From our culture, it went abroad, and self inquiry is recognizing what food is absolutely needed for me to pursue my day's jobs. So, through this self inquiry, we can move directly into transcendence, finding true meaning in life, and feeling fulfilled today. So, this is our four external pursuits. One is fasting for 14 hours overnight. Anybody above the age of 10 years can do this. Say 7 p.m. if you have dinner, 9 a.m. you can have breakfast. In those 14 hours, only thing you can have is water, 0 calories. Next, find 30 minutes to do some exercise, 2 minutes to self talk, which means listen to yourself talk alone in your own room. And the last thing is find 1 minute, not even 5 minutes, where you can do something kind to somebody. Preferably, they don't know who is doing this act of kindness or altruism for them. So you don't even get a thank you from them. But try to be of some kindness to somebody else. In these four aspects, there are four inner journey or self inquiry concepts. One is fasting requires gratitude. I ask my patients, what are you grateful for? They say it may be their grandchildren or golfing or being alive. Whatever you're grateful for, that is what you need to connect with so that you can continue this fasting for 14 hours. It's not logical. It is at the subconscious level, it is beyond logic, it is beyond your intellect. But I invite you to experience gratitude and fasting. Here, through exercise, I suggest that you follow a scale of 1 to 10. We call it the Bohr Dyspnea Index, and push your body to 7 or 8, not all the way to 10, unless you've trained it for months. Don't push the body too much immediately, but 5 to 8 you can push right away if you're otherwise healthy. Self talk and follow it up by 5 to 10 minutes of sitting silently and observing the silence also. And this altruism will allow you to experience compassion for people around you, and more importantly, compassion and trust towards yourself. That is the thing that will give you the strength to move forward in life. So this is not only for the heart. This is a holistic program that invites you to feel more trust and confidence in life itself. So whatever it is, trying to lose weight, trying to achieve in sports, trying to achieve self-inquiry, or just to experience life, whatever you're trying to do, the self-inquiry will allow you to pursue your own journey more meaningfully. So like I said, to summarize, if you cut the calories by 10 to 20%, you may increase your longevity not only to 80, maybe to 100, even 120 years. You may live healthy. That is what science is saying. But if you continue to restrict calories, it's not going to be healthy. So about 20%, 25% calorie restriction may be the sweet spot. And this is one of numerous patients over the last 10 years that have lost so much weight through calorie restriction. This patient, for instance, is 73 years old. She has a weak and stiff heart. She lost 45 pounds within 3 months by eating only one meal every day. And he continues to stay hungry now for 10 months since he started this program. And now when I ask him at this point, 2020, how are you feeling? He says, Doc, I still go to bed hungry, but I am feeling 10 years younger, so much more confident. And I want to know, what is your next step? What do you teach next for me to continue in this journey? Because he is so obese at that 70 years of age, it is not compatible with a healthy life anymore. So for him, losing weight becomes so important. And he has succeeded in not only losing weight, but also making his heart so much stronger, and that have given him so much more confidence. So in summary, we can treat heart problems, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, reduce cancer, and prevent mental stress, burnout, and even avoid dementia in the long term. Ideally, gain more confidence in our own circles, in our own relationships, in our own achievements in life, and happiness that can be more lasting with more confidence and energy if we participate in holistic living. And one of the simple tools that we practice is High Life Journey, for which we have incorporated the latest in cardiology, positive psychology, mindfulness, meditation tools, and 5,000-year-old Siddha and yoga techniques from India to bring all of these together for you to experience the best possible life through silence and High Life. I invite you to participate in High Life. Thanks so much, Nicole, for giving me this opportunity to connect all the way from the United States to Calgary. And I'm going to visit you in person and experience the beauty of Calgary, hopefully in the next year or so. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very insightful, very informative. I think the participants might have questions. So if you have a question, can you please write it in the chat?
Sorry, Nicole, we cannot put anything in the chat box. It says only meeting organizers and presenters can share.
Okay, then just unmute yourself and ask your question.
I want to ask, how does the indigestion in the stomach and bloating affects the heart?
Even cardiologists and stomach specialists, gastroenterologists, when we have heart trouble, we think it is stomach problem. When we have stomach problem, we wonder if it is our heart. So it is really no way people can differentiate the two. So if you have ongoing chest pain, you'll have to have it evaluated. But when it comes to how bloating affects the heart, if you have truly GI problems like acid reflux, ulcer in the stomach, or poor gastric motility, and because of overeating or poor quality food, you have indigestion and bloating. That sort of GI problems may mimic heart problem, but it does not directly cause heart attack or anything like that. But for a heart patient, when they have these GI problems, or if they didn't know they had underlying heart problem, this can they can be mistaken for each other and delay appropriate care. So that is why we have to be careful. To simply give you a clue, what I would say is, if a person who is otherwise very active, when he is exercising, climbing stairs, when he's walking 1 or 2 miles, he has no chest or stomach problems, but the problems happen only after a heavy meal, then it is more likely to be stomach related. I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, very well. Thank you very much, doctor.
Thank you.
Should we just talk instead of typing in the chat box?
Yeah, just
Because there's questions in the box, but I don't know if you guys can see them.
Okay, go
There's
ahead.
like one, I'll ask my question, I guess, so that I can tell the other one. How do you get your patients to cut calories? Do they keep a journal of their calories and go from there? Or, because I don't keep track of calories, so I would have no idea how much I eat or don't eat.
I'm a cardiologist. I work with a lot of dietitians, endocrinologists, diabetologists, and they also come and participate in High Life. And if you ask me my personal way of working with my own patients, I'm going to tell you now. I actually discourage calorie counting. The reason is it is more than the science, it is more than the logic when we teach self-inquiry. So I feel that sort of, I would say, calorie counting and trying too much of logical uh, pursuit actually deters from this self-inquiry. The word self-inquiry means, in truth, who am I? What is the meaning of my life? It is a very profound inner journey. So when we use fasting as a tool towards self-inquiry, this calorie counting becomes, I would say, very minimal use or in fact distracting. So how my patients benefit from this program is they first slowly give up empty sugars, by which I tell them give up 9 out of 10 things that are sold in the grocery stores most of the world. That means only 1 out of 10 things is healthy. And we all intuitively know what that is. The fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and multi-grain bread, and quinoa, brown rice, avoiding white rice, and avoiding white bread, avoiding all forms of salt and sugar-added sweets and donuts and cookies, ice creams, cakes. And then all the beverages that I showed you in that picture, all the energy drinks, power drinks, and soda, even Gatorade, all these have plenty of Powerade, all these things have plenty of added sugar and salt. So all these things, if we avoid, that itself takes them half the distance. And that itself makes them lose, I would say, 3 to 5% weight. And then starts the true self-inquiry or fasting. So after starting to eat healthy food and avoiding all snacks, then the next step after a few weeks is trying to skip 1 or 2 meals and feeling hungry with water and smiling and trying to relax. When they go into that natural ketosis, this calorie counting becomes, I would say, a very minuscule role in reality. And here we can go so much further. BMI of 50, they have come down by 100 pounds. So this is very dramatic weight reduction that we are able to achieve. And calorie counting you can do out of curiosity. It is not something, it is like I would say side wheels. Once you know biking, you don't need the side wheels. So that may be a simple answer, I hope.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know, Nicole, if you want me to read from the chat. There's another bunch of questions. Can I do fasting without food and water for 16 to 18 hours?
Water, I believe, is very useful. It helps our body to move into ketosis. So I will encourage you to have plenty of water. And anybody who is not insulin requiring diabetic, if they are on oral medicines, they can skip that day medicine and try fasting. And what else? People who have eating disorder, bulimia, anorexia, we don't want them to fast. People below the age of 18, we have to really think about fasting as a tool. Calorie restriction may be more healthy in teenagers. Above the age of 18, I would encourage everybody, even if they have normal weight, to try fasting once a week. And that is not to lose weight. If your weight is normal, you have to add extra calories on the days that you're not fasting. But for those who want to lose a little bit of weight or to stay healthy, for them, fasting one day a week, I would say, is very useful. Did I answer that question, or was there some other aspect to that question?
There was another aspect. They added, in my religion, water is also forbidden to drink during fasting.
In that case, for that 16 or 18 or 24-hour fast, I would, at the start of that fast, I would encourage you to drink plenty of water, so that through the fast period, you don't need you can, instead of rehydrating, you can prehydrate. That is a concept in athletics. When Wimbledon or US Open, when tennis players are fighting through a 5-hour tennis match that they're wanting to win, they prehydrate for a few days before. Like that, you can drink plenty of water before the fast and after the fast. If your religion forbids water, I would still encourage you to drink plenty of water before and after you complete the fast.
Thank you, Doctor. Also, Dr. Anuradha is asking, can we take juices without sugar during fasting?
There is no healthy juice in the whole world. So once you recognize healthy eating, there is no role for juicing at all. So every fruit, as a fruit, is how nature has made it for us to experience, because it has the fiber and it is much lesser glycemic index than the juicing. So sugar added juicing is what you see in most of the stores. That is definitely harmful. It is just like any other beverage. So most juices we don't want. But if you say I'm squeezing the fruit in my own home and drinking it as a juice, even that I'm discouraging, because take the time to have the fruit, not as a snack. Even that is part of your meal. Okay.
Thank you. And Fatah is asking, meat eating is healthy or not?
Good. If you ask me this question in 2050, not 2050, I'll say 2035, 15 years from today, I will say no. Meat eating is not healthy. Today, I have to say what science tells me now, which is fish and little bit of chicken may be okay. That is what science is saying. Red meat is probably hurting us. That is what we know already as far the heart is concerned. And definitely stay away from processed meat. Okay? And if you can go organic for chicken and low mercury fish, that is okay. Again, you have to be careful with the quantity. Then you may ask, how do I get my protein? The answer is all the protein in the world comes from plants. They are taken up by the animals and we take them through the animal. Directly, we can get enough protein from plant sources. Plenty of nuts and legumes and lentils and fruits and vegetables, we have enough protein sources.
Thank you. And Wissam is asking, can diabetic patients do the fasting while taking insulin?
For me, when I work one-on-one with patients here in Colombia, I've had excellent success. I have patients who have needed insulin for the last 10 years, who don't need it anymore for the last 1 or 2 years since they started this program on High Life. But if you are calling me from Calgary and saying, can I give up insulin right away, it's not that easy. The important thing to recognize is about 5% of diabetics are type 1 diabetics. That means they need outside insulin to metabolize. So for them, fasting is not good. If you are insulin requiring type 1 diabetic, fasting is not for you. If you're type 2 diabetic, which means you have insulin resistance and excess weight and that type of diabetes, other things that go with that is hyperlipidemia, hypertension, obesity, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Even they say dementia is type 3 diabetes. That's the new term I'm hearing now. Because of this insulin resistance, over years, people have higher risk for dementia when we grow older. So this type of diabetes, which is 95% of diabetes in the world, for them, fasting can be taken up. Some of them are insulin requiring. For them, we have to be really careful. These type 2 diabetics, talk to your doctors, and they are not going to be very comfortable doing this. So my suggestion is start the self-inquiry first, which is giving up the empty sugars, trying to go for 14-hour overnight fast. Even if you are diabetic, you can do that. And then slowly you can push it a little further by cutting down on the insulin dosage. But you'll have to be extremely careful and monitor your own sugar levels. Make sure you don't get hypoglycemic. You have to be cognizant of how you're monitoring and looking out for hypoglycemia. You have to be extremely 10 times more careful if you are already on insulin. Those who are not on insulin and are diabetic, this program has worked much easily. And for the others who are not yet diabetic at all, I would say this is the way to prevent diabetes, pre-diabetes, and all these metabolic problems. When I was 35 years old, I had pre-diabetes. I met an endocrinologist who said, "You're from India, so you will need metformin to take care of you. Don't worry, everybody is on metformin from India. Don't take this personal, just take the pill." But till today, I've not taken the pill. I just gave up white rice and I moved to brown rice and plenty more of vegetables and fruits. That itself resolved my pre-diabetes several years ago. So this fasting that I do is not even for pre-diabetes. It is to stay healthy when I'm older. I want to optimize my health span. That is why I do this fasting once in 5 days. Next question.
Do you have time still? It's 11.
I have time. If people are interested, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. Fatah is asking about egg rumors that it increases cholesterol. Is it good to take daily or not?
Egg is the question.
Yes, eggs.
Egg, again, this depends on where you are. So for everybody, it's going to be a little different. My son, for instance, he's 18 years old and he plays 4 hours of tennis on most days of the week. So when they are that active and weight training and they are young, I believe egg is okay. But I'm now 47 years old. So for me, I don't need egg. So once a week, I may choose to have egg if I want to. But ideally, we don't need the yellow of the egg. White of the egg has full of protein, so that is much more useful, especially if you can go organic. The question if it is, do we need egg in our diet? The answer is no. For your heart health, you'll be better off without eggs. Next question.
Okay. Anyone else has questions? I think we covered everything in the chat.
Any discussion points, anything we can open up, and I would like to hear your thoughts on what you heard today. I might have shared things that you are familiar with. Some of these concepts you may not be familiar with. So what are your thoughts about it? I'd definitely love to hear from people who have not heard me before. First time hearing whatever message I have. I'd like to see what you're thinking about it.
Elena is asking, you mentioned there are 5 types of fasting. Which one are you doing and how to decide which one is for us?
There are, I would say, 100 types of fasting. So is my slide still available for you? I can put that slide back up. I can?
We can see it, yes.
Yes, so this was the slide, right? So this is something I got off the internet. So the word fasting means giving the body no calories. So the minute you finish lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, your fasting starts at 1:01. So you can fast for 1 minute, 1 hour, 2 hours. So anything above the 12-hour mark is really beneficial. So if you can do it every day, like what I'm doing now for since the COVID started, every night what I'm doing is a 14-hour fast. So every day I have dinner at 7 p.m. and try not to have anything until 9 a.m. So that's what I'm doing on most days of the week now. And this hunger-based gratitude experience, the continuous fasting I'm talking about, is mostly for people who have heart disease, diabetes, and who are excess weight, who are trying to really get a good control of their heart problems. For them, I suggest that they can go into more deeper levels of long-term fasting for years together, 5 years, 10 years, so that through natural ways they ensure adequate nutrition without calories so that they can achieve ideal body weight. So first 2 years I did once in 5 days, 24-hour fast. Now I continue to do that once in a week, 24 hours. And then most days I do 12 to 14 hours. And this, I believe, will keep all of us healthy above the age of 18. We can all try this for numerous, not only heart benefits, but also reduce cancer, dementia, and avoid diabetes. So these are the key benefits.
Great. Dr. Anuradha is asking, is paleo diet advisable?
The word paleo diet means, for people who may not be familiar, is a diet that is supposed to be prior to agriculture. What is the trouble with agriculture? Agriculture started 10,000 years ago. Agriculture means cultivating rice, wheat, corn, maize. So all these things are very high density calories. What this agriculture allowed us is to move from what I would say our ancestral eating pattern. I'm going to show you our ancestral eating pattern here real fast. I can't find that slide here. So you can see this slide, right? So our ancestors, even today, if you look at our cousins, chimpanzees, they eat for 8 hours every day. Other herbivores, we are also herbivore, like cattle, cows and horses and sheep, they eat for 14 hours every day. We don't have that much time to sit down and eat because we have much busier lives. We have intelligent pursuits like studying in school age, like working in adulthood. We have so many arts and sciences and crafts and million other things that we want to engage our mind in. So we don't want food to take away our time. So to do that, we follow this agriculture for the last 10,000 years. So that is the reason we have a few meals a day. This is not our nature. Our nature is to have fruits and nuts and berries and keep munching on things for 7 to 8 hours every day. That's how our chimpanzee cousins are behaving even now. So this fasting is a way to, I would say, overcome the ill effects of agriculture. So that's what is paleo diet. They are saying try to avoid rice itself, eat more meat. But that type of meat and other things also, I believe, is more keto diet, which I discourage from the cardiac standpoint. So if you can balance a more plant-based whole food diet with once a week intermittent fasting, I believe you will find a beautiful sweet spot that will help regain the health, heal the heart, prevent heart disease, and not only that, you will be much more in tune with nature itself. This paleo diet and keto diet, let me tell you one simple story. If you take a football field, it is sufficient to feed one human being if you eat the standard American diet, which involves meat and because meat involves cattle, and cattle require a lot of farming. So that's why a football field is needed to feed one standard American diet human being. But if you decide to go plant-based, that same football field for a whole year can feed 17 people. So there is a 17-fold greener benefit to environment and our community and our society if we choose to give up red meat and minimize even chicken and fish. So that is the benefit of plant-based diet for the environment. So that is why I'm saying in 2050, we all will be plant-based because the world will be that much more crowded, and we would have recognized not only for the environment, but for ourselves also, we can do so much more benefit by eating a more plant-based wholesome food. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anand. I think there's a fire alarm in my building, so I have to end the meeting.
Oh,
But,
okay.
do you have?
Enjoyed. Thanks so much for this opportunity, Nicole. I will visit you soon in Calgary.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It was very insightful. We learned a lot, and if we apply this to our life, I think we'll be much healthier and feel much better. So thank you so much, Dr. Anand.
I invite you all to participate in www.highlifejourney.org to experience the entire Heartful Living series and try it for yourself and for your friends and family as well. Good luck. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
If you can please fill out the evaluation survey before you leave, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.